All right, Shalom, Shalom. It's your brew, Ban Shemayim here with another one. Today's video is gonna be a reaction to this guy, Viking preparedness. I think it says a message for the Hebrew Israelites. So we're gonna react to his video. Without further ado, let's get into it. See what he got to say.
Hi, welcome to Viking Preparedness. Welcome to Shofar Mountain. I am Pastor Joe Fox. Hey, in Revelation 12:17, you can read about some people who have the testimony of Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, and keep the commandments of God, the Most High Yah. This particular video, is for those people. If that's not you, this video is not for you. You're not going to like it. You'll think it's crazy, whatever. You should just go watch another preparedness video. But if you are a Hebrew Israelite, this video is for you.
So obviously I think he said his name was Pastor Joe Fox. Obviously he does preparedness videos, which if y'all not into preparedness videos, y'all should start watching, making sure you got extra stuff, rather it's just simple bagged food with the oxygen taken out with the little oxygen packs in there like rice and beans. Just look up things that you could do to be prepared. All right, let's keep going.
And I feel it's laid upon me today. It's kind of heavy. The Holy Spirit's been talking to me, and so y'all will get this, and that's why it's for you. He's been talking to me for about 2 days now, heavy. Yesterday, I was driving around, just driving around during our siesta time, right? It's hot, and I'm driving around with the windows down, trying to stay a little cool, seeing this area, because I don't know everything in this area by far. And I felt like he wanted me to stop and talk to somebody, so I was looking for someone to talk to. And I was talking about this at supper because my trip got interrupted. I had to come back and deal with a well guy, and so I did that. And I didn't get to talk to anybody. And I thought, I really think he wanted me to talk to somebody. So today, hey, praise Yah, the well hit water at 20 feet, lots of water. Hit a spring, praise Yah. And I had to go get some rock that we're going to pack down around the outside of the casing. And so my son and I went. I normally go a certain way, but this time I decided, hey, let's take this.
Hey, he hit a spring at 20 feet. Hey, that's dope. Hey, man, that is fire right there. I hope the same luck for myself whenever I start going for a whale, man. 20 feet, it's not that bad. It's not like you had to go 600, 700 feet. That's pretty good.
This back road, and let's see how we get there. So we did. We take this back road, windy through the mountains. And as we're going around a corner, I'm watching the road. My son said, hey, some dude's living in a tent out there on the side of the road. I said, well, that's cool. And I didn't see it. We kept going, got rocks, came back. I said, I want to see that tent. Make sure you tell me where it is. And so we come around the corner, and I see it. And sure enough, there's this like white wall tent, like a Cabela's tent. And it's on what looks like a deck out in this pasture. And there's a Jeep parked next to it. And so we go around the corner, and man, Ruach HaKodesh just...
I wonder, is he talking about those dome home tents? He didn't say a dome, he said a tent, but they are technically considered a tent. But when he said white walled tents, it's sitting on a deck. So I was just wondering if it's one of those dome homes. Let's keep going.
like got on me and said, turn your car around and go talk to that person. So I did. I'm not the kind of guy really who does that. And so I pull in somebody's driveway, I turn my truck around full of rocks, and I go and I park in this little field and I say, hello. And I was expecting like some old dude with a big beard and a shotgun and a bad attitude to go, what do you want? What are you doing on my property? And so I go walking up towards this tent, and instead out pops this, I thought she was like a college woman, college girl. And she's like, hi, how you doing? And I'm like, hi, I just wanted to stop and say, hey, I'm living in a trailer. I dig the way you're living in this tent. I think it's really cool. And she comes up and she extends her hands to me to shake hands. And she told me her name. And I said, hey, I'm Pastor Joe Fox. This is my son, Joe Fox. And she looks at me. She goes, what'd you say your name was again? I said, Joe Fox. She goes, Shofar Mountain? I said, yeah, how do you know? How does this woman living in a tent in the middle of nowhere know about Shofar Mountain and know about me? And she goes, and I asked her that, and she said, I just discovered you I saw some of your videos. I was watching 119 or somebody's videos that had me linked, and I was just telling my husband about you, and yada, yada, yada. We're Hebrew Israelites. We just came to an understanding of the way, a year ago, and so she and her husband are newlyweds. They've been married about a year. They came to an understanding of the way right around the time they got married. They were formerly, really good, you could tell, solid Christians. And they just came to an understanding. And the Most High told them to sell everything they had and move to the wilderness. So they moved here, about a half hour away from here. They got a piece of land that somebody let them squat on, and they set their tent up, and they didn't even know what they were going to do except live a simple life and look for people to worship the Most High Yah. And
That is pretty cool. So, just faith alone. They just recently gotten to the truth. Praise the Most High God. Oh man, Kaula Hayabah Shemishai. Praise Him so much. So, he God gave them. He woke them up to their identity and who they were, and then He told them, "Look, I need y'all to sell everything y'all own and get out here." And then they just did it, right? And it's not about now, because they could be out there like, man, we ain't got our AC ain't set up right, our, whatever things that we get used to in the cities. They like, that might not be fully together, the plumbing, everything like that. But they like, well, he want us to go out there. We know even if it's not for this time, the time's coming, so we must get out here and prepare. And I think that's really cool. Let's keep going.
here we are stopping. They've only been here a week. We stopped. They only discovered us on YouTube a week ago. That's of the Holy Spirit. And that's what's kind of getting this video going. I was a Christian pastor, started out with a church of 5 people. The Most High built that church up to over 80 people attending on Sundays when He got me and said, hey, follow my way, follow my commandments, keep my feasts, that kind of thing. And over the course of the next 6 months, everybody at that church except for my family left. Right? They didn't get it. They couldn't see it. I couldn't explain it. The Most High wasn't talking to them. They were gone. And I was like, wow, okay, great.
That right there. The fact, see, man, I talked to a lot of pastors before. I even talked to a pastor before, and he told me if I was to sit down with my congregation, like he admitted that the things we were going over was right, but like if I was to sit down and tell this to my congregation, I wouldn't have one. And this guy right here was willing to lose his whole congregation. Man, all praises to the Most High God. Let's continue.
Whatever, I'm going to preach the truth. Well, the Most High started sending more people. And the church got built up to about 30, maybe. I don't count, but somewhere around there. But just let me talk to you about some of those people. My good friend Kevin, I can tell you his name's Kevin because he was on Doomsday Preppers. He got it, right? He got the way. And then he moved to Costa Rica. He just sold everything, sold a lot of things, moved his job, took his family, moved to Costa Rica. One Night Team Ministries is in Costa Rica. That's not why he went. He went for other reasons, but he went there. I think a guy, Jeff Gilbert, is there. There's Hebrews in Costa Rica. We took the decision, my wife and I, to move here. I invited everybody in my church to come, and one man had started coming to my church. He heard about us from Pastor Dow, and the church up in Kansas, Round Prairie Community Church, which I'm still the pastor of. But
so he's in link with Pastor Dow. Okay. I don't know much about Pastor Dow. I've seen a couple of his videos, and I don't know much about this guy, but now we know that they are in a link together. All right, let's keep going.
I don't preside over services very much anymore. He started coming to church, and he brought his coworker, who was not a Hebrew Israelite, and his coworker brought his wife, who was not a Hebrew Israelite, and in 3 weeks, the Most High grabbed them, and they became Hebrew Israelites. Well, the couple moved within just a 15-minute walk of Shofar Mountain. That young man who brought them to Shofar Mountain is coming down next week to live in a town nearby. He just feels called to live down here. Another couple, they came to our church up there in Kansas a few times. They lived in Kansas City. Messianics, had a good job up there. The Most High grabbed them, and bam, they're now living in southern Missouri. They sold what they had. They put everything in their truck. They bought 10 acres of land in the middle of nowhere, rugged land, and they're forging their way down there. There's no jobs down there. They don't care, because they know the Most High wants them there. Another family at our church, they'd been to Shofar Mountain a couple times. They decided they were moving to southern Missouri with their wife, father, son, and I believe the wife is now pregnant with child. Quit good jobs and just move to an old house that's a real fixer-upper on some really rural, remote land. What are they going to do? They don't know. They just know they're called to be there. Another good friend of mine and a good friend of Shofar Mountain had a great job in St. Louis, felt the need to leave it all, and he moved to southern Missouri. Just dropped everything, moved his business, bought some land, and he's living there, and he's probably going to let people come live with him eventually, maybe start some kind of community. Why am I telling you this? There are places that the Most High is currently gathering his people, Hebrew Israelites. One of those places is Costa Rica. One of those places is in northern Arkansas and southern Missouri and eastern Oklahoma. There's another guy that moved from way out west, and bam, he moved to eastern Oklahoma. He's been coming out here. We've been talking to him, and he's starting a community in eastern Oklahoma. There's a group of Hebrew Israelites that we met, two of them in northern Arkansas, um, that they just felt called to move to this area. The Most High is calling his people. And one of the places he's calling his people to is northern Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, southern Missouri. Why am I telling you this? Because if the Most High is urging you to move there, maybe this is the kicker. He's got a plan. He has a plan, and he's gathering his people right now. Read about the second Exodus. I think that's going to kick off here shortly. People are starting to just come to awareness, come to an understanding of the way, and they're moving. You don't want to flee Babylon too late. It's time to get your life in order. It's time to get your priorities in order. Start thinking about what's important and quit worrying about things. Start trusting in the Most High Yah. You know our well today that I did a little video on? I prayed really hard as that guy was setting up. I went off on my own and I just prayed to the Most High. You know what? Our last well hit water at 180 feet, and we're pumping about a gallon a minute out of that well. This well hit water, hit a spring, a flowing spring at 20 feet, and it's going over 3 gallons a minute. That for us, that's awesome. That's a lot of water for us. He is blessing us. I met these people out of the blue. They didn't even know who I was a week ago. Bam, met them. Hey, he laid it on my heart to tell you, if it's time to move, you need to move. This is not the only place, all right? He's gathering his people everywhere. I know of another place. I just don't know if they want me to advertise it yet, so I'm not going to tell you. And it doesn't matter. You don't need my advertising. If the Most High wants you to move and he's telling you to go somewhere, I suggest you do it. Time's short, and you know what, Hebrew Israelite, I think I will see you out there.
Here's one thing you need to do before you buy anything.
All right, all right. So, with that note, man, I think he had I actually like a lot what he had to say, and I agree. I'm not saying go out there. I don't know him, so I'm not gonna advertise for people to go out to this guy's house, and I don't know this guy, and I don't want to put y'all in no bad situation, that's for sure. But whatever you do, do it with the faith of the Most High God, right? Because if you have had an itchling to start preparing to leave, or to get ready to leave, or to just get up and leave, think out your plans and then get it together, right? Because we're in Babylon. I was going to go into this, but it kind of make me want to switch what I'm going to and go into Matthew. This is that was Psalms 137, where it talks where King David's seeing us in Babylon, because we know he was never taken captive like that. So I wanted to go to this Matthew 24 real quick, and because it says right here, 24 and 42, it says, "Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour the Lord doeth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in which hour the thief would come, he would have watched, and would have not suffered, and it says would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour ye think not the Son of Man cometh." Right? Let's hit this other one, because a lot of what he said was actually things. It's Matthew, right? It says Matthew 10. Let's start at this at? This started 23. It says, "But when they persecute you in the city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come." And this is important first off because the persecution in the cities have started. They've been killing us. Police brutality, us killing ourselves, the robbery, and it's all etching up. It's all etching up. If you go back 5, 10 years ago, um, rappers got made fun of if they got their chain stolen and stuff. Maybe 15 years ago, I don't know. My time has passed, but rappers used to get made fun of when they got their chains stuck. That might still happen now, but nowadays people is dying over their chains. As a rapper, I wouldn't even go out with that type of stuff on, not going to any neighborhood because people hungry. And now you got coronavirus or the plagues sketching up, along with I think they said bird flu has been found over here or somewhere in the human case as well. So now you got these different plagues etching up. We got to still deal with the economy coming, and we know the technical revolution is coming. That is before they chip everybody, because it will be a universal basic income type of system with this chip. You don't need to have to go to work and do all of these things. They're gonna pay you to be a zombie pretty much because they have machines that's gonna do all of your work for you. So we got all of these things coming along with the war and the famine. We have all of these things coming. And a lot of us, because we can sit in our house and watch TV or watch YouTube or watch something, we don't notice. We don't notice what's going on. And it, remember what Christ said, watch therefore, for ye know not what hour the Lord doeth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up to. So pay attention to the things that's coming on, to the things that's going on in the world. And don't think that just because you're waking up, like imagine if Christ said that the end will be like Noah's time. So imagine if Noah would have never built the boat. Imagine if God told Noah the end's coming, and Noah would have said, okay, I don't need to build a boat or prepare for the flood. I'm going to just pray about it. And when I pray about it, God is going to fix it. That's all I got to do. I'm going to pray about it. There is no faith without works. We went over this before. So I believe that on that note, with everything that everybody's seeing going on in the world and that's been prophesied, knowing that the worst is still to come, we should play like he said in Hosea. We should start getting ready for this, right? Hosea 2:6. It says, "Ho ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith the Lord. For I have spread you abroad as the wings of heaven, saith the Lord. Deliver thyself." Deliver, to slip away. That's what this means, this form of deliver, malat, to slip away, right? Thyself. Alas, ha, we. Oh, I think it's alas is the O part. For whatever reason, it's not showing the thyself part. But deliver yourself, right? Slip away, to slip away thyself, right? O Zion, that dwellest within the daughter of Babylon, right? For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory he hath sent me into the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil unto their servants, right? So, like he says, flee from the land of the north, deliver, which means malat, to slip away thyself. So people, we need to start being prepared for this because we're reaching this time. And in order to get the new covenant, because I think in one of the videos, that last video I did with the Christian pastor, he was talking about the new covenant and how it's already been established. But we're gonna prove that that's not true in right here. But let's read this first. It says, "At the time," this is Jeremiah 31. We're gonna start at 1. It says, "At the same time, saith the Lord, I will be God of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. Thus saith the Lord, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness," right? So the people that were left of the sword. So we know that a sword is coming. The famine, all of this is leading up to destruction, right? So people got to be prepared so they can make it through this sword, right? Left of the sword found grace in the wilderness, right? What is grace? Let's get it. Favor. So they found their favor in the wilderness, the desert. Ah, that's amazing. Even Israel, when I went to cause him to rest, the Lord hath appeared unto me, saying, Yea, I have loved thee with the everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. Again, I will build thee, and thou shalt be built, O Virgin of Israel. Right? Thou shalt again be adorned with the tabrets, and shall go forth in dances of them that make merry. Right? It says, thou shalt ye plant. It says, thou shalt ye plant vines upon the mountains of Samaria. The planters shall plant and shall eat them as common things. For there shall be a day that the watchmen upon the Mount Ephraim shall cry, Arise ye, and let us go up to Zion unto the Lord our God. For thus saith the Lord, Sing with the gladness for Jacob, and shout among the chief of the nations. Publish ye, praise ye, and say, O Lord, save thy people, the remnant of Israel. Behold, I will bring them forth from the north country, and gather them from the coast of the earth. With them the blind and the lame, the women with child, and her that travaileth with child together. A great company shall return thither. So a great mass of people shall become sick, pregnant, and women who have children, right? A whole bunch of people coming. They shall come with weeping and supplications. I will lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers in the straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am the father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, He that scattereth Israel will gather him, and keep him, as a shepherd doeth his flock. For the Lord has redeemed Jacob, and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. Right? So remember, Jacob and Esau were born at the same time. Right? It says one will be stronger than the other, right? And the youngest, then the oldest shall follow or shall serve the youngest, right? That was the prophecy that was given. It says, Therefore they shall come and sing in the height of Zion, and shall flow together to the goodness of the Lord, for wheat and for wine and for oil and for the young of the flock and of the herd, and their souls shall be as a watered garden. So the souls are going to be feeling good at this point, right? Oh man, my storage running out. And they shall not sorrow any more at all. Then shall the virgin rejoice and dance, both the young man and the old man together, for I will turn their mourning into joy, and I will comfort them and make them rejoice from their sorrow. Right? Now let's go and wrap this up, because this is the part I wanted to get to right here. Right? Where it is all right, here we go. The new covenant, right? It says, Behold, this is Jeremiah 31, but we're down at 31. It says, Behold, the day come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel. Back to the Christian guy. And with the house of Judah. not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. Because it's a new covenant, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with them, with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord. For they shall all know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Okay? So that's what I just wanted to end with that, because I know my video probably about to cut off, but I wanted to end on that note and put this fair warning out. I'm not saying go move with other people that you don't know or don't trust, but I'm saying that learning how to have a garden, how to cultivate the land, what things you can eat off the land, what things you can't eat off the land, how to hunt, how to do all the necessary things to survive is going to be paramount for people to have during these times. They're going to need these things to survive. These trades in which they have bred out of our people. Like my mother's generation knew all of that. They could build a house from scratch, electricity and everything, a car too, and a garden. They could do it all. And we were bred out of that. We were brought more into the technology. Now we need to go back to the old ways. Okay? So I'm not saying join no random camp or a random thing out there, but I am saying get prepared to leave. Even if you got to start off by just going out and going camping, let's go camping every week or two, or every couple of weeks or so. Find a place you would like to buy and figure out what it would take to get that place livable by your standards and how much money that would cost you. And then make it happen. God will work it out. God will work it out. Because the cities are gonna get bad. It's gonna be bad in the cities. And we need to be prepared for that. On that note, I want to thank y'all for listening. And Thawada, thank you. All right. Barakatha, which means bless you. And Kaula Ahaya by Shimei Shai, that means all praises in the name of Ahaya, or all praises to Ahaya in the name of his son Yeshaya, right? And on that note, I just want y'all to hit if y'all like the video or not, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop some comments and let's talk about this. Cause I got some brothers already doing this in other areas, and I'm not willing to put their areas out. And I have a plan too, but I'm not willing to put my area out. So, not saying y'all have to drop any particular areas, but has anybody started planning for this or started getting prepared for the times to come? I would like to know about that. Let's talk about it in the chat. On that note, peace. Or wrong hand. Peace. Peace out, y'all.